within very short period.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning.
रविशंकर जी नमस्कार, कैसे हैं आप?
नमस्कार भौमिक सर। गुड मॉर्निंग। मैं बढ़िया हूँ सर। आप कैसे हैं? बढ़िया।
रविशंकर जी नमस्कार। बढ़िया, बहुत दिनों बाद आपसे बात हो रहा है।
नमस्कार भौमिक सर। यस सर। मैं अभी हिमाचल में शिमला में हूँ सर, यहीं से ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा, बढ़िया, बहुत दिनों बाद आपसे बात
हाँ
हो रहा
हाँ
है।
सर, गर्मी से राहत मिली। यस सर। मैं अभी हिमाचल में शिमला में हूँ सर, यहीं से ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा, बढ़िया, बहुत दिनों बाद आपसे बात
हाँ
हो रहा
हाँ
है।
सर, गर्मी से राहत मिली। यस सर। मैं अभी हिमाचल में शिमला में हूँ सर, यहीं से ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा 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 अच्छा।
गर्मी से राहत मिली।
मेरा वाला ही दे दिया आपको
आवाज करो आवाज नहीं हेलो
Yes, sir, you are audible.
आवाज करो okay
Good morning,
okay
sir.
good morning sorry for the delay because of technical and personal reason
Yes, sir,
both
you are audible. Sir, no problem. So, we are pleased to have our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir,
delay
in
because
this
of
one-day
technical and
national
personal reason.
webinar
Both.
organized by Department of Physical Education on the eve of 21st International 21st June, which is an 8th International Yoga Day, celebrated worldwide, not only in the India, it's celebrated worldwide. And Department of Physical Education, Tripura University, had the proud privilege to organize this one-day national seminar. As we all know, we have oh, one of the best speakers related to this field, not only in the field of physical education, in the field of yoga. So, in this cloudy, pleasant morning, which is in Tripura at present, we are pleased to welcome all the participants registered, near about 260 participants. And in this particular platform, we have restricted the things up to 80, and rest of the people's joined in the YouTube live streaming. So once again, a very good morning to you all. And with the permission of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, we will begin our one-day national webinar on yoga for holistic health. So to begin the formal proceedings with, I am requesting Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik, the Organizing Secretary and Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education, to formally inaugurate the things with his welcome address. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Uh, Good morning, one and all. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Thank you. Good morning, one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Tripura University, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasai. Am I audible? Professor Shemal Das, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Commerce, Tripura University. Professor Prashanto Kumar Das, Head, Department of Physical Education, Tripura University. Professor Rajiv Chaudhary, Professor and Dean, Student Welfare, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur. Dr. Rajeshwar Mukherjee, Assistant Director of Research and Registrar, Kavella Dham, Lonavala, Maharashtra. Professor Taraknath Pramanik, Professor IGIPESS, University of Delhi. Dr. Udham Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Yogic Science, Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar. And ladies and gentlemen, yoga is a journey of discovering the self. It is an ancient and beautiful practice of India that is linked to all aspects, namely physical, spiritual, and mental. It calms and relaxes our body and soul. it helps us to stay fit and healthy. Practicing yoga has a bundle of benefits linked to it. In India, as well as in global, to make the culture and tradition alive, the International Yoga Day is celebrated every year on 21st June. In this connection, this year, Tripura University is celebrating International Day of Yoga in befitting manner. In continuation, Department of Physical Education is organizing many activities for month long. Today we will be witnessing the national webinar. In this event of one-day national webinar on Yoga for Holistic Health, I, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik, Organizing Secretary of Webinar, am really privileged and pleased to formally welcome the distinguished gathering present in the cloud. To start with, I take privilege of extending a warm welcome to the most eminent and dignified personality, the person whose presence itself created a mark on everyone present online in webinar. He is the icon of Tripura University, our very own Vice Chancellor, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasad. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the entire Department of Physical Education. Your presence is a source of inspiration for us. We are extremely happy to have you in webinar, sir. I also take the privilege of welcoming the guest of honor, Professor Shamal Das, Dean, Arts and Commerce. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the entire department. I also take privilege of welcome Professor Prashant Kumar Das, Head Department of Physical Education, Tripura University. I welcome you, sir. It's an honor to welcome Professor Rajiv Chaudhary, Professor and Dean Student Welfare, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University. He is the versatile person who is one of the leading personalities of India in the field of physical education and yoga. We are very fortunate to have him as an expert today. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of the entire Department of Physical Education. It's also an honor to welcome Dr. Rajeshwar Mukherjee. He will join by 10:20, Assistant Director and Registrar, Kavila Dhama, the oldest institution of yoga in the world. He is profound exponent of Yoga Vedanta tradition. We are very fortunate to have him as one of the experts today. I also take the privilege of welcoming to Professor Taraknath Pramanik, Professor, University of Delhi, a famous yoga guru in northern India. I welcome you, sir. I also take privilege of welcoming Dr. Udham Singh, Assistant Professor, Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar. He is an authentic yoga teacher. He is a very energetic and a true passionate in his yoga teaching and a very influential teacher. Welcome to this webinar, sir. I would like to extend my warm welcome to all the faculty of the university, administrative staff, all the esteemed participants, and to each and every individual present in the webinar. Lastly, I welcome one and all. Thank you. All the esteemed participants.
Thank you, sir.
And to each and every individual present in the webinar.
So-
Lastly, I welcome one and all. Thank you.
As briefly narrated by the organizing secretary, Department of Physical Education, Tripura University is organizing series of programs to celebrate this 8th International Yoga Day. And this is fortunately, this is the year where we are celebrating also the Swarnim Mahotsav of Azadi. So 75th year of Azadi, and as narrated by the government of India, throughout the year, we are celebrating different programs. So it is not only on theoretical platforms where we just discussing the things online. We do have the different ongoing physical programs related to last day. We have organized quiz, different workshops, and conducting the yoga asana shivers for not only the students, the other faculty members, and the staff members of Tripura University. And our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, is a leading example of these things, as because of he is not only just encouraging the things, he actively participate in all the programs, and you can just imagine his presence is also an encouragement. This is just not only the words, we can feel that energy from him. So we would like to begin our one-day national seminar with the blessings of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasid. Sir, I am requesting you to deliver your speech and your word of blessings. Seminar with the blessings of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasid. Sir, I am requesting you to deliver your speech and your word of blessings. Unmute the mic, please. It's muted still. Sanjay, unmute the mic. Unmute the mic. It's muted still. Sanjay, unmute the mic.
Yeah. Namaskar and good morning to one and all. Professor Shyamal Das, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Commerce, Tripura University. Good morning to one and all. Professor Prashant Kumar Das, Head Department of Physical Education, Tripura University. Faculty of Arts and Commerce. Dr. Sudeep Das, Associate Professor, Department of Physical Education, Tripura University. Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik, Organizing Secretary of this one-day webinar. Dr. Krishnendu Dhar, Assistant Professor, Department of Physical Education. Other faculty members of the Department of Physical Education and different department of Tripura University. Our invited eminent speaker, Professor Rajiv Chaudhary, Proctor and Dean Student Welfare, Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur. Our invited eminent speaker, Professor Taraknath Parmanik, Professor Physical Education, University of Delhi. Dr. Udham Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Yogic Sciences, Gurukul Kangdi Vishwavidyalaya, Haridwar, Uttarakhand. Dr. Rajeshwar Mukherjee, Assistant Director, Research and also Registrar, Kaibiladam Dham, Lonavala, Maharashtra. Other distinguished lovers of yoga and yogic sciences, research scholar, students, invitees, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I congratulate all the participants on this very, very auspicious occasion of the celebration of International Yoga Day. And also, as we all know, that this year we are celebrating the 75 years of independence of India under the banner of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, by organizing different programs and different educational institution, offices, department, as well as in, at all level in all over India, because this is the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And also, we have been asked to celebrate and organize as much program as we can, as many, functions, programs, meet, webinar, seminar, conference, workshop as we can. And out of these many events, program, celebration, the today's webinar, that is one day webinar on the yogic practices in the occasion of the celebration of 8th International Yoga Day, is also one of the most important events of Tripura University, as well as for the different, persons, scholars associated with yoga and yogic practices. I am very happy to share with all of you that I myself have also, joined in the yoga program when I was a student in Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya. There I have joined in two programs. One was Diploma in Yoga conducted by Indian Academy of Yoga, Mumbai. The expert used to come from Mumbai to Kashi and they used to teach us yoga. And also another program was yogic practices for better living. It was 1 month, program of the various yoga and yogic asan, pranayam, etc., etc. But it was very, very long ago. And now also, whenever I find time, I do try to practice minimum, say at least some pranayama, some basic pranayama, some basic asana, which I can as per my convenient time. And also, I am happy to share that whenever I feel free, I have time, I always watch the the TV program of Swami Ramdev, where he practices, he preaches yoga, and also India TV channel. Every day in the morning and evening, we can see, we can practice many asanas and pranayama for the purpose of making ourselves fit and healthy. So as all of us know that yoga is a very, very important ancient method of keeping a human being healthy and long. If we regularly practices yogasana, yoga pranayam, and also yoga is a way of life. They teach us, we learn, different activities, even food habit, etc., which shall, if practice thoroughly, truly, regularly, I believe that we shall always remain very, very happy and healthy. But due to various reasons, many of us have other preoccupation, other activity. Therefore, we are generally unable to regularly practice yoga. But I believe, and I know, and all of us know that if we regularly follow the yogic habit, yogic practices, food habit, etc., which has been practiced, which has been, mentioned in the Patanjali's literature, I believe that all human beings in this world need not visit any allopathic doctor. This is how we know the importance of yoga. And coming to Tripura University, I have seen that last year also, before last year also, even during Corona period also, the Department of Physical Education has organized many programs, and out of those many programs, the webinar on yoga, the physical, practices of yogic asanas is one of them. And this year, as all of us are, gear up to celebrate the main function that is on 21st of this month. Before that also, this is a, 1 month long celebration under the different capsule, like webinar, like workshop, like seminar, like discussion, like next program. So we as a yogic practitioners, we as a teacher of yoga, we have to preach, we have to give awareness of the importance of the benefit of yoga and yogic asanas, pranayama, etc. I will not take much time because our eminent speaker, Professor Rajiv Ji, Professor Tarak Ji, Dr. Udham, Dr. Rajeshwar shall be, delivering many important points, many important, examples of yoga. So last but not the least, I would like to congratulate and compliment the Department of Physical Education, Tripura University, for organizing this program in a very, very befitting way. And I believe that all the participants, students, scholars who have joined in this program will certainly benefit. Not only joining, I would like to appeal that let us start practicing yoga, even for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even half an hour, every day in the morning. Let us start our daily life with the yoga practices, yoga pranayam. Then I believe that we shall ever remain happy and healthy. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Thank you so much, sir.
I believe that we shall
Always
ever
a
remain happy and
man of practical things. So he rightly pointed out that yoga is really for holistic health for all, and we should practice, inculcate the habit not only for a particular celebration of in one day, but it should be a celebration of life, and throughout the lifetime it should be helpful. And we must work out on that. So with the blessings of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, we will proceed forward on this one-day webinar. And due to some technical reasons, our Honorable Dean sir might not able to join in this platform directly. So I am requesting the Joint Organization Secretary, Dr. Sudeep Das, Associate Professor, Department of Physical Education, to just giving his thoughts and sum up for this only inaugural part of the seminar, as because just after that we will proceed to the technical part, and where we are eagerly waiting to listen our experts. Sudeep sir, please. After that we will proceed to the technical part, and where we are eagerly
Good
waiting
morning, everyone.
to listen
As we are
our
looking forward
experts.
to the technical session, but before going to the technical session, let me congratulate the participants and also the eminent speaker. We have brought some globally renowned yogis in this platform to share their views. So, before to conclude, I owe my deep gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasing, for sparing his valuable time. At the same time, I also give my sincere thanks to our Dean Arts and Commerce, Professor Shamal Das. I also thank all the participants and the viewers who are watching this webinar through different levels of streaming. And we are very much delighted to have with us four eminent speakers, different parts of the country: Professor Taraknath Pramanik, Professor Rajiv Chaudhary, Assistant Director and Registrar Rajeshwar Mukherjee, Kaivalya Dham, Assistant Professor Dr. Udham Singh, Gurukul Kangri University. Before to conclude, as we all know, importance of yoga is felt everywhere, and nowadays we are very much accustomed to this. And as we are passing through some important phase, that is, we are celebrating 75th years of independence, and we are also organizing different programs under the flagship program Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. But above all, let me tell you, throughout the globe, our own creation, tradition, and heritage is being celebrated. And main credit goes to our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji, for his Herculean effort for promoting yoga and yogic culture around the globe. Before to conclude, once again, from the core of my heart, I thank one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So we will have this brief inaugural part of this one-day national webinar, yoga on holistic yoga for holistic health, organized by Department of Physical Education. We are eagerly waiting for our experts. For the technical sessions, we have renowned speaker as narrated by the Joint Organization Secretary, Professor Rajiv Chaudhary from Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Dr. Rajeshwar Mukherjee from Kaivalya Dham, Professor Taraknath Pramanik from Delhi University, and Dr. Udham Singh from Gurukul Kangri Vishwavidyalaya. So, in the next part, we'll start our technical sessions, and I am handing over the technical session to the Organizing Secretary, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik. Within a short while, we'll start the things, and Professor Rajiv Chaudhary, Dean, Head, Department of Physical Education, one of the eminent speaker, not only in India and worldwide. He's a very good speaker and very renowned person in the field of physical education, sports, and yoga. So we are eagerly waiting to hear from you. And for the rest of the proceedings, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik will continue. Sir, please.
Thank you, Krishnendu sir. Again, good morning to all. So our first speaker is Professor Rajiv Chaudhary. So Professor Rajiv Chaudhary is professor in physical education, head school of our first speaker is studies in law, dean student welfare, joint proctor, former head school of studies in physical education, former dean faculty of physical education Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University Raipur, Chhattisgarh, India. He is the visiting professor of Jan Logos University, Poland, and Trier University of Applied Sciences, Trier, Germany. Professor Rajiv Chaudhary is the life member of National Association of Physical Education and Sports, Sports Psychology Association of India, Council for India Council of Physical Education, and Mahamana Malviya Mission. Regarding the research paper publications, more than 100 papers in his credit. He published 17 books in the area of physical education, sports, and yoga. He completed 4 major projects. Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary received Certificate of Excellence from Medicina Alternative, which is affiliated to the Open International University, for his work to foster the ideals of the humanitarian in the healing arts in the year 2009. Dr. Rajiv Chaudhary received Best Associate NCC Officer Award in the year of 2011. He received Professor of the Year Award in Social Science for the academic session 2014-15 and 2015-16 from Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University. He received Lifetime Achievement Award in Physical Education from Physical Education Foundation of India. National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE) awarded him Best Teacher Educator Award in the year 2009. We are very eager to listen you, sir, and he will deliver lecture on yoga for health and rejuvenation. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Baumek. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, please.
Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University and Chief Patron of this national webinar, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasenji. Patron of this webinar, Professor Shamal Das, Chairman and Head of the Department of Physical Education, Professor Prasanta Kumar Das, Organizing Secretary and the man behind the show, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Baumek, Joint Secretaries, Dr. Sudeep Das, Dr. Krishnandu Dhar, and eminent personality and expert of yoga, Dr. Tarak Nath Pramanik, other experts, and dear participants.
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. At the very outset, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizers for providing me an opportunity to speak in front of you. I am feeling great pleasure as I have got this opportunity. At the very outset, I am directed by Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Baumek to speak on the title, on the theme, Yoga for Health and Rejuvenation. Ladies and gentlemen, before starting my lecture, I would like to share a shlok from the shlok of Sanskrit from Isha Upanishad that tells us about the significance of yoga. It tells us about the utility of yoga. Ne tasya rogo ne jara ne mrityu praptasya yogagnima shariram. Those who attain their body perfected through the fire of yoga does not have old age, illness, or even death. This shlok from Isha Upanishad tells us about the great significance of yoga in this modern and knowledge era. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that we are living in this modern and knowledge era. In this modern knowledge era, lifestyle, daily routine, and food habits have been changed. And due to this change, or we can say that due to the change in the daily routine, food habits, and the lifestyle, people are drawing their health status, fitness level, as well as spiritual development to the brink of respite. So, these types of webinar, these types of program, these types of yogic practices are very helpful to retrench our weaknesses So instead of giving stress on nauseous talks, we should give stress on the talks which are helpful to rejuvenate ourselves, which are helpful to relieve us from stress and depression. So without wasting time, I am going to present a presentation on the title Yoga for Health and Rejuvenation. I am going to share my screen. And Dr. Baumek, please tell me, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is
Is it
visible.
my presentation is visible on full screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible.
For better communication, since I am directed by him to speak on the title Yoga for Health and Rejuvenation, for better communication, I divided my presentation into different parts. First, I will discuss about the concept of both, that is health as well as mental health. In the second part, I will discuss about the process, how the thought process takes place, and how this is associated with our mental health. In the third part, that is the most important part of my presentation, ladies and gentlemen, body and mind cannot be separated. We will discuss about the connections between body and mind. And the fourth part is related to the one dimension of health, that is spiritual perspectives. And in the last part of my presentation, I will show you a few practices from the field of yoga. These are not my suggestions. These will be not my suggestions. These will be the suggestions given by eminent scholars from the field of yoga. Let us start with the first, health and mental health. We all know, we are aware about the definition of health given by WHO, World Health Organization. We know that World Health Organization defined health in the year 1948. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In this definition, that is given by WHO in the year 1948, only three dimensions of health are mentioned: physical, mental, and social. Later, WHO realized this definition is incomplete in three sense. These dimensions, physical, mental, and social, are incomplete in sense. WHO added two more dimensions. First one is spiritual, second one is emotional. And these both dimensions, spiritual and emotional development, yoga is a very easy way. By practicing that, we can develop spiritual perspective, spiritual health, and as well as emotional health. So to attain a complete health or optimal health, that is physical, mental, social, spiritual, emotional, yoga plays a vital role in this. How yoga plays a vital role, I will discuss in detail. One more definition I would like to share with you. That definition is very expressive in nature. This definition of health is from Sushruta Samhita. This definition is basically based on different types of balances. Not only in life, everywhere a proper balance is required. So in our related to health also, a balance is required, and the definition is in front of you. Samadosha samagnisha samadhatu malkriya prasannatmendriya man swasthitya bhityate. Samadosha, we know that we have three defects as per Ayurveda. Vat, Pitta, Kapha, there should be balance. Samagnisha, we know that the heat is produced by the largest gland of the body, that is known as liver. The optimal heat should be produced. Too much heat leads to acidity, and lack of heat, lack of the production of heat leads to the sluggish digestion. Samadhatu, our body is constituted of the 7 elements: Ras, Rakta, Mas, Vakja, etc., etc. There should be balance between these dhatus, these elements. Malkriya, our excretory system, passing of urine should be proper, passing of sweat should be proper, passing of stool should be proper. And the next part of this definition is prasanna atmendriya man. Our mind should be happy, our sensations should be happy, and our atma should be happy. Atma is that vital force or the drop of that cosmic consciousness that enters in our body and we are alive. That should be happy. So this definition of Sushruta Samhita related to health, that tells us about the different balances, and all these balances can be maintained by a single practice, that is yogic practice. It is not possible to discuss about all the dimensions and the association of all the dimensions with yoga out of all dimensions, physical, mental, social, spiritual, and emotional, I will give stress on only one dimension, that is mental health. Since now majority of individuals are facing psychosomatic disorders, so we should have an idea about the concept of mental health. There is a one dimension out of all five dimensions of health. It is more than the absence of mental disorders. If any individual is not having any mental disorder, that individual cannot be considered as he is having or she is having a good mental health. That cannot be decided only on the basis of the absence of mental disorder. It is more than something. It is the ability to think. It is the ability to learn. It is the ability to understand. What we have to think, what we have to learn, what we have to understand. We have to understand one's emotions and reactions of others. It is also a balanced state. Then what type of balance is required? It is a balanced state in between two. Between two, I mean self and the environment. If we accommodate ourselves with the environment, it means we are having a good mental health. If we are not able to accommodate ourselves with the environment, that will lead to ill mental health. And there are several factors that plays a vital role. There are some interrelated factors participating in producing this balance. These are physical, psychological, social, cultural, spiritual. So after the brief description of both the terms, health as well as mental health, I will proceed to the second part of my presentation, thought process and mental health. What is the association between our thought process and mental health? How our thought process affect our mental health? I have taken one example from an article published in a journal indexed in PubMed and PubMed Central, and the theme of the article was challenging and changing stress-producing thinking. The article was written by Phyllis A. Miller, and we know that PubMed and the PubMed Central is a reputed name in the field of the medical sciences. I have taken one example. A patient had a severe adverse reaction to the medication prescribed by the doctor. After illness, the patient reached to doctor, and there were adverse effect of the medication given by the doctor. The doctor was flooded with thoughts. How this happened? I am going to discuss about two different situations on the basis of two different types of thought processes. First one is situation one. This situation one is based on the stress-producing thought process. Ladies and gentlemen, please see this picture from top to bottom. Situation is same. There was an assumption. We all have assumptions. There was an assumption of the doctor. I must be perfect all the times. I never do mistakes. I am ultimate. I am perfect. But doctor committed an error. Since there were adverse effect of the meditation given by the doctor, then after that the escalation takes place. It means I should have known. I will be sure I am incompetent. And the doctor was full of shame. The headache started. The feeling started, and the doctor started taking alcohol, and the physical symptoms appeared, such as headache, etc. And the behavior of the doctor changed, and the doctor blamed avoidance. It means this is one of the thought process that is considered as a stress-producing thought process. Situation is same. Let's discuss another type of thought process, but this thought process is based on the process of realistically evaluating thoughts. Situation is same. Please see this picture from bottom to top. The sequence is opposite. In the earlier example, that was based on the stress-producing thought process. The assumption was, I am competent, I never do mistakes. But here, the doctor has healthy assumption. Healthy assumption is, I am not perfect. I will sometimes make error. Since we all are, as a human being, are bound to have some errors. So, no one is perfect. This was the assumption of the doctor, and the doctor committed a mistake. What type of mistake? There were adverse effect of the medication. The feeling started, and the physical symptoms appeared. But that doesn't mean doctor realized I am uncomfortable, but that doesn't mean I am incompetent. Every individual can do the errors. And the behavior changed, but the doctor focused and the senses heightened. And the doctor learned from the mistakes and asked support from their colleagues. And so we have discussed about two different types of thought processes of the same situation. On the basis of these two examples, we can conclude that negative thoughts can deteriorate person's mental health, person's physical health, as well as cumulatively damaging professional relationships, as well as damaging personal relationships, and that also affect our decision making ability. Ladies and gentlemen, the main change is our behavior changes. So, on the basis of that, on the basis of these examples, we can say that everything depends on our thought process, what type of thought process we have. Now I proceed to the basic concept of yoga. Since there is an association between the thought process and yoga, you will be agree with my statement that in the field of yoga there is no standardization. Time to time, different individuals from the field of yoga infused their own views in the field of yoga. But I am talking in front of you on the basis of a standardized literature. Out of all standardized literature, one is written by Maharishi Patanjali. Maharishi Patanjali in Yoga Sutra defined yoga by a Sanskrit shlok, Yogasya Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Cessation, it means the cessation of the thought waves of the mind stuff is known as yoga. What do you mean by cessation? Cessation means to stop. What do you mean by thought wave? Thought waves means vratis. And what do you mean by chitta? Chitta means the mind stuff. Everything that is stored in the mind, that is stored at the depth of our unconsciousness, unconscious mind. What do you mean? That is a cosmic mind. That is individualized. That is all. That is noticeable everywhere. That is all pervading. So cessation of the thought waves of mind stuff is known as yoga. So we are able to stop the wandering mind. What remains? Nothing remains. So this one definition given by Maharishi Patanjali tells us about if we stop our wandering mind, it means, or we restructure our thought process instead of having stress-producing thought process, we should rectify our thought process on the basis of realistically evaluating thought process. So yoga plays a wider role since the cessation of the thought waves of mind stuff is known as yoga, defined by Maharishi Patanjali. As I have said earlier that the third part of my presentation is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, body and mind cannot be separated. If anything happens in our mind, that affects our body also. And if anything takes place in our body, that affects our mind also. I will discuss about the connections between body and mind, what type of connections are there. There are two types of connections. What is automatic? We cannot control. Automatically that takes place. And the sequence of automatic connection may be of two types. Is something automatic mind-body phenomena. Something takes place in the mind that affects the body. And another sequence is automatic body-mind phenomena. Something takes place in the body and affects the mind. And another type of body connection is deliberate. Since in the field of yoga, we do activities deliberately. And the deliberate connections may be of two different types. One is deliberately mind-body expression. Deliberately, we do some mental activities. Example is meditation that affect our body also. And another is deliberately body-mind expression. Deliberately, we perform something from the body that affect our mind. Examples are respiratory practices, pranayama, asanas, body postures. So, I will discuss about all four in detail with the hypothetical examples. Again, I repeat, we will discuss about automatic mind-body phenomena, automatic body-mind mind-body phenomena, body-mind phenomena, deliberated mind-body expression, and deliberated body-mind expressions. Let us start with the first, automatic mind-body phenomena. Examples are crying. Initiation takes place from the mind, but affect the body. Laughing, facial expressions, Body language comes under this category. In our emotions, or any cognitive activity that belongs to automatic mind-body phenomena, hypochondria. Body language comes under this category. Some individuals have the fear, I am suffering from the disease. Initiation starts from the mind, but in real, that happens. Psychosomatic disease and placebo effect. Since we all are associated with the field of research also, so we know that how placebo effect comes under the category of automatic mind-body psychosomatic disease. And second one is the second part of the second type of automatic, that is mind-body phenomena. Something takes place, something we perform by the help of our body that affect the mind. There are two: physical pain and physical pleasure. In the category of physical pain, pain may be of different types: heat, cold, internal pain, or joint pain. That takes place in the body, but affect our mind. Another example is physical pleasure. Physical pleasure means if we take food physically, but that refreshes our mind. We take bath, our body takes bath, but that refreshes our mind. Sex takes place by the body, but affect our mind also. So in the third category, deliberated mind-body expressions and practices. In this, we have two mind-body practices and acting. And examples of mind-body practices are imagery practices, autogenic practices, meditation. Since we are discussing about the field of yoga and the significance of yoga, it means we may conclude meditation is a yogic practice that comes under the category of deliberated mind-body expression that affect on both our body as well as the mind. But initiation takes place by the mind. And another is biofeedback. Acting is one example, and the last type of connection is deliberately body-mind phenomena. All yogic respiratory practices known as pranayama, maybe ujjayi, maybe brahmari, maybe shitli, shitkari, all comes under this category. In the category of the deliberated body-mind phenomena, physical exercises, we all are associated with the field of physical education. If we do any exercise or if we do any yoga asana, maybe in standing position, maybe in prone lying position, maybe in supine lying position, maybe in sitting position, all comes under the category of deliberated body-mind phenomena. And there is a concept nowadays very popular, that is a progressive relaxation techniques. We practice these progressive relaxation techniques. These also comes under the category of deliberated body-mind phenomena. So the fourth part, I will proceed to the fourth part. As I have said, it is not possible to discuss about all dimensions, but WHO also included one spiritual dimension in the definition of health. So yoga plays a vital role in spiritual perspectives. How spiritual development takes place, I will discuss in very brief. As per yogic concepts, we have 72,000 nadis. Nadis are the micro vessels where the prana flows, and the prana is that vital force. Due to that, we are alive. And out of 72,000 nadis, 3 are main. First one is Ida. Ida has a cold effect, and we know that coldness is shown by moon. So due to that, this nadi is known as moon nadi or Chandra nadi. But the important point is, this nadi is responsible for the functioning of our excretory system. Our excretory system is controlled by this Ida nadi. Second one is Pingala nadi. Pingala nadi has warm effect. We know that warmness is shown by sun. Due to this warm effect, this nadi is known as sun nadi or Surya nadi. But on the other hand, this nadi is responsible for the functioning of our two major systems, and these two major systems are respiratory and circulatory. Ladies and gentlemen, all these three body systems, excretory, circulatory, respiratory, these are the main systems. One, excretory controlled by Ida. Two, circulatory and respiratory controlled by Pingala nadi. So for the optimal functioning of our body, the balance between these two nadis, Ida and Pingala nadi, is required, and that balance takes place by the help of third microvessel functioning of our body. Third nadi, that is known as Sushumna nadi. This is a junction between these two. This is the junction between Ida and Pingala nadi. That is situated on our spinal cord, and that takes place. So our purpose is By the help of yogic practices, we want to maintain the balance between our Ida and Pingala Nadi that takes place by the help of third Nadi, Sushman Nadi, by the help of body chakras. After the word Nadi, one main word is in front of us, that is chakras. Chakras are energy centers. Our body produces different types of energies. As per yogic sciences, there are 7 chakras in our body from bottom to top: Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sahasrara. Different types of energies. Our purpose is to maintain the balance between Ida and Pingala Nadi by practice. Have an idea about the location of the chakras. The Muladhara chakra is situated at the opening of anus, or we can say that situated at suprarenal gland. Swadhisthana is situated at our sexual organs, or we can say that's gonads. Manipur situated at our stomach region or nabhi, or we can say that situated near to pancreas or adrenal glands. Anahat situated at our chest region or heart. Vishuddhi situated at our neck region or thyroid gland. And Agya chakra is situated in between our eyebrows, or we can say that situated at our master gland. And pituitary gland is known as our master gland. And the last chakra, Sahasrara chakra, is situated at the top of the head, or we can say that situated at our pineal gland, the smallest gland of the body. Our purpose is to maintain the balance between Ida and Pingala. Takes place by the help of Sushmana, by the help of body chakras, and that takes place by the help of the Kundalini. Kundalini is a spiritual energy. We all are born with this spiritual energy. We can activate by the help of yogic practices this spiritual energy, and we may rejuvenate ourselves. In inactivated state, this Kundalini lies at Muladhara chakra. This Kundalini has, if we talk in a physical shape, this is having a rope having the 3.5 rounds. Every round has a specification. First round denotes Sattva, second is Rajas, third one is Tamas. And these are 3 universal modes, since we know that exists in the body, also exists outside the body. And by the help of regular yoga practice, meditation practice, or Raj yoga practice, after activation, this Kundalini reaches as Sahasrara chakra. Since in inactivated state, the Kundalini is situated at the last part of our spinal cord, that is triangular in shape, that is known as a sacral or sacrum bone. Through regular meditation, this Kundalini starts activating and reaches the top of the head at the vertex at Sahasrara by crossing all the chakras, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipur, Anahata Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sahasrara, and the self-realization takes place and the expansion of consciousness takes place. You know that in all of us, only conscious mind is functional, but we may improve the functioning of our unconscious and subconscious mind by the help of the yogic practices. And the concept of the states of mind, as per psychology, there are 3 states of mind: conscious, subconscious, unconscious. But as per yoga, there is a 4th state of mind also, that is known as super conscious mind, that can be attained by yogic practice. So, one more concept I would like to share. But after hearing the word that sacral bone, where the Kundalini is situated, we should not be surprised. That bone is known as a holy bone. These are not my views or the thoughts of the eminent scholars. This concept was present at the time of Hippocrates, at the time of 400 BC. This bone, that holy bone, sacrum bone or sacral bone, was known as a Heronstone. The concept was present in Roman people also, that was known as sacred bone at the time of Roman people. And why this bone is known as holy bone? The eminent scholars from the field of yoga discussed. Some believed, since this protects our genital organs, due to that reason this bone is known as holy bone. Some discussed, since this bone is that cannot be destroyed, this bone plays a vital role in the rebirth. People discussed about that. And some believed that this bone is used in some religious practices. Due to that reason, this bone is known as holy bone. But the last decision was taken by the eminent scholars from the field of yoga, that since this bone is responsible for our rebirth, due to this reason, this bone is known as a holy bone. And this concept is present in almost all religions. In Muslims, in Hindus, in Christians, this concept is available. And in Muslims, there is a literature known as Hadith, written by Abu Huraira. this bone cannot be destroyed. Allah will make a new body by the help of this bone. But the presentation is in different way, but the concept is present in almost all religions. This concept is present in Indian iconography also. And I have taken this example from an article published in the Journal of American Medical Association, published in the year 1982, written by Oscar Sugar. And one example I have taken from an hadith written in the year 1991, written by Sahih al-Bukhari. So we should not be surprised after hearing this word, hearing this concept, that is sacral bone, the concept of Kundalini, the concept of spiritual energy. By practicing yoga, we can activate this spiritual energy that will lead to rejuvenation. And we should have an idea of concept of body layers. Ladies and gentlemen, we all spent most of the time of our life to glorify our only one body, that is a physical body. That is known as Annama Kosh in the language of yoga. And what do you mean by physical body? What takes place? Development takes place. At a particular age, stagnation takes place, then deterioration starts, and the death takes place. And we visit gyms, we do aerobics, we do different types of yogic practices, we do asanas, we do pranayamas, and we do different type of physical exercises to glorify this physical body. But we should take care about the remaining layers also. As per yogic concept, there are 3 layers. Out of 3 layers, one is this, that is physical body, and the remaining layers are, next one is the astral body, that is connected to the physical body with a subtle thread. When the thread is cut, that departs the body. And this astral body, that is the middle layer, has 3 sub-layers. First one is pranic shet, next one is mental shet, third one is the intellectual shet. This pranic shet controls our sensory organs. We feel, we experience heat, cold, hunger, thirst by the help of pranic shet. And on the basis of mental shet, we experience thoughts, doubts, exhilaration, depression, delusion. So mental, it is very important for all of us. We should do some yogic practices to strengthen our mental shet also. And the third sub-layer of the middle layer, that is astral body, is intellectual shet. And we this control and guide our mind. Our mind works under the direction of our intellectual shet. Discrimination, what is right, what is wrong, that is decided by our intellectual shet, and decision making is affected by intellectual shet. If we are not having a proper intellectual shet, if our intellectual shet is not developed, in that case we cannot take appropriate decisions. We see in our day-to-day life, some individuals can take effective decisions, some individuals are not able to take effective decisions. But important point is our ego resides in this intellectual shet. But exceptions are also there. Abdul Kalam ji is an exception of that. And causal body, the third main layer is a causal body, that is a seed body. That is a blueprint of a plant. It will produce the stores. Everything depends on that stores in the form of our karmas, the subtle impression of in the form of our karmas. And these control the formation and growth of our remaining 2 bodies. That is physical body and astral body, Annama Kosh and Sukshma Sharir. And it is not possible, since Dr. Bhaumik allotted me, sir, you can take 30 to 40 minutes maximum. So after that, I will suggest some practices, and these practices can be performed in any posture. We do not require much time. So for rejuvenation purposes, one, I am also impressed by this practice, Kapol Shakti Vikasak. It is clear from the name. Kapol is a Sanskrit word. Kapol means cheeks. But this does not only improve our cheeks. Since we have faced this COVID-19 pandemic, and it is very essential for us to strengthen our lungs also. So this is a Kapol Shakti Vikasak, is a respiratory practice. Gas strengthen our lungs also, our lung capacity also, our positive breath holding capacity also, our negative breath holding capacity also. Now you can see how to perform this Kapol Shakti Vikasak. We have to place our fingers together. By the help of our thumb, we control our nostril, and we inhale through mouth. and with the oval shape. After full inhalation, we tuck the chin, and it means we maintain the Jalandhar Bandh, and we have to place our fingers on the chest. We maintain this position up to 20, 30, 40 seconds or 1 or 2 minutes. That will depend on your capacity. And after that, after the completion, we exhale from both the nostrils. Again, I repeat, we have to inhale through our mouth, then we have to apply Jalandhar Bandh, and then we have to exhale through both the nostrils. This is the practice of Kapol Shakti Vikasak. Next practices, Bhru Madhya Drishti. Bhru is a Sanskrit word. Bhru means eyebrows. We have to keep our eye. This practices, Bhru Madhya Drishti. Drishti means to look at, to gauge at. This Bhru Madhya Drishti, we have to keep both the eyeballs in between the eyebrows. This practice is very fructiferous in for concentration purposes. We can stop the wandering mind. Before meditation or before pranayama, it is suggested by the eminent scholars to practice this Bhru Madhya Drishti. It is very simple too. Another is Nasagra Drishti. Nasagra is also a Sanskrit word. In Nasagra means nose tip. We have to keep both the eyeballs on our nose tip. That is known as Nasagra Drishti. We have to keep our eyeballs on our nose tip. This is the Nasagra Drishti. Next is Anulom Vilom Pranayama. We know that if we are suffering from blood pressure, we are not supposed to retain our breath without kumbhak, without retention. We have to perform this Anulom Vilom Pranayama. Can be practiced with kumbhak, with retention of the breath, without retention of the breath. We have to inhale through left nostril, we have to exhale through right, again we have to inhale through right, and we have to exhale through left. This is one repetition. We know that, everybody knows that. Progressive muscle relaxation. This is a, nowadays it is suggested by the experts. In this, first we have to concentrate on a contraction of muscles, then we concentrate on the relaxation, then we have to differentiate between the contraction and relaxation. We have to practice in an order. We can start from toe to head or head to toe. The next one is the Pran Dharana. Pran Dharana is the simple meditative practice from the field of yoga. Pran Dharana means, in the simple words, in the layman's language, we can say that concentration on the breath is known as Pran Dharana, and another is meditation, and we can practice meditation. There are different types of meditations available in the field of yoga. As per the modern concept, there are two types of meditations. One is concentrative meditation, and another is mindfulness meditation. We may select any type of meditation. We may practice Sahaj Yoga meditation. The concept was given by Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi in the year 1970 and has been spread all around the world. This is the simplest type of meditation. By practicing that, we may rejuvenate ourselves, we may activate the Kundalini very effectively, and the yogic practices, the meditative practices, all have different types of effects. Nowadays, every individual expects spontaneous effect, but there are some delayed effect also. So we should, with patience, we should wait for the delayed effect. So now my presentation is over. I tried my level best as per the directions given by Dr. Bhaumek. Now your questions are invited, and I express my sincere thanks to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasenji, patron of this, Professor Shamil Das, and Chairman and Head of the Department, Professor Prasanta Kumar Das. And I express my sincere thanks to Dr. Bhaumek, as well as to Dr. Sudeep Das and Dr. Krishnandu Dhar, the staff members and the associate professors of the university. So thank you very much. Now your questions are invited. Now over to Dr. Sanjeev. Thank you.
Thank you so much for very informative lecture, sir. Every time we listen your lecture and learn new things. This was really wonderful. So now I request to all the participants, if you have any doubts or you want to clear something from the sir, this was really wonderful to sir. So now I request to all the participants, if you have any doubts or you want to clear something from the sir, this was really wonderful to sir. So now I request to all the participants, if you have any doubts or is there any question from the participant, it was really wonderful, sir. So now I request to all the participants,
Dr.
if you
Sudip
have
Das
any
is not
doubts
visible.
or
Dr.
is there
Sudip-
any question from the participant, it was really wonderful, sir. So now I request to all the participants,
Dr.
if you
Sudip
have
Das
any
is not
doubts
visible.
or
Dr.
is there
Sudip-
any question from the participant? I think that there is no really question for you. It was
So now I
thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and deliver the lecture, sir. I think that there is no thank you so much, sir. It was thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Very nice presentation. And
Thank you, Tarakji. Thank you. Thank you.
in front of you, I'm really learning from a lot of things, and it's really nice because you are exploring very nicely in specifically mental level, and it's really
Sanjeev, you will be surprised after hearing that. During my PhD, myself and Dr. Tarak stayed in the same room for research purposes, and at that time, I was not aware about any yogic practices, and he was having a lot of books, a bunch of books. One I remember one is written by I was not aware about any. I think. Founder of he was having
O.P.
a lot of
Tiwari.
books, sir.
O.P.
Tiwari, sir. A bunch of books. I have seen the book. I decided one is written by. I will learn something from. I think founder of he was having
so nice,
a lot of
sir.
books.
I learned from you a lot of
I have
books,
seen
and
the book. One I
so nicely you express the things. We are reading and we are go through all the things, but really it's nicely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank
So
you,
nicely
Tarak,
you
sir.
express the things.
Thank you, Rajiv,
We are
sir.
reading and we are go through all the things.
So
but,
now we proceed to
really
our
it's
next
nicely.
speaker.
Thank you,
Our
sir.
next eminent
That's
speaker
great.
is
So
thank you,
nicely
Tarak,
you
sir.
express
Rajeshwar
the things.
Mukherjee. Thank you. I love
We
to
are reading and we
interfering physics and Indian philosophy. He is also concurrently working as a registrar of the Kaviladham. He travels to different universities and premier Indian philosophy, delivering these courses and lectures. As a registrar, he has represented. He travels in the meet organized by the Ministry of Indian Affairs, delivering these courses on quantum reality and theory of Shunya. Having invited to the prestigious Copenhagen Business School at Denmark, he delivered a lecture series. Having invited to the, he has authored the sixth Copenhagen Business School at Denmark.
यच्छन्दसां ऋषभो विश्वरूप छन्दोभ्यद्धं मृतात् सम्बभूव सामें मेधया शृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणो कोशोऽसि मेधया स्पिहित श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रुतं मे गोपाय The most honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, the honorable office bearers of Tripura University, Professor Prashant Kumar Das, Dr. Tarak Nath Paramanik, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik, all of the staff members of Tripura University, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhaumik, last but not the least, the students of the university and the participants from other institutions. I am extremely delighted to be here on this August platform and deliver the message of yoga for holistic health. I am extremely delighted to be here. The global audience present here and deliver the message of yoga. At the outset, I would like to extend my thankfulness to the authorities of the Tripura University for providing me a chance, for giving me an opportunity to share some of my ideas with you, for providing me a chance, for giving the title of today's lecture or today's meet is Yoga for Holistic Health. It's a very relevant topic to be discussed in today's scenario. But for your information, this topic is widely misinterpreted and miscommunicated amongst the mass. But for your information, because we must know that yoga has a message for the entire humanity and miscommunicated. It has a message for the entire human being. Because we must. It has a message for the body. It has a message for the mind. It has a message for the intellect, and it has a message for the self within. It has a message for the body. So yoga is always holistic. It has a message for the intellect. And I do emphasis on this point. Therefore, the ideas, interpretations are available on the areas of yoga, and at the same time, misinterpretations are also prevalent. It's quite natural. But we must know that yoga has a central message for the individual soul to get itself united with its real nature. The word is the holistic health. The word is holistic health, and in Indian perspective, health is always holistic. The word is the word which the word is corresponded, and in the Indian perspective, health is always, or with the English word holistic health. The word is the word which Swastha means corresponded in one's own real nature. Swastha with the English word holistic in one's the word which to be in its own real nature of one's wellness, to be in the state of equilibrium. So long we are in equilibrium, we are happy. And moment there is a departure from the equilibrium, we start suffering. So suffering is a part and parcel of our life. And what is the ultimate goal? Ultimate goal is to get back to the point of equilibrium, is to get back to the center of wellness. What is the goal of our life? The goal of our life is to be happy eternally, is to be happy, is to be perpetually delighted, to lead a life of joy eternal. That is our goal. But unfortunately, we don't say unfortunately, because the state of suffering is a natural state in this human world. It is a natural state. Everyone should suffer and will suffer. And we must know that suffering glorifies ourselves. This suffering leads us to the state of enlightenment. This suffering leads us to the state of pristine joy and bliss. The suffering makes man great. This is the observation of Tagore, who says that suffering makes man great. Dukkha manushke mohot koriya tole. This is the observation of Kavi Guru. But our tendency is to be in the state of wellness, is to be in the state of perpetual happiness, is to avoid joy, is to avoid suffering, affliction, and blight from our life. The goal of yoga is to attain that state wherefrom there is no higher state of happiness to attain. It is that state attaining which we are not perturbed by the greatest affliction, the greatest sufferings. Yang yam labdha cha pare laham mannatena adhikam tata yasmin sthitona dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. The Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita records that it is that state attaining which we have no higher states to attain. And that higher state, when attained, is a state being stationed in which we are able to tackle all the adversities of life. This is yoga. The ultimate goal of yoga is to be happy. Similarly, the ultimate goal of sports, games, and physical education is to be happy in terms of wellness. There should be the wellness of body, there should be the wellness of mind, there should be the wellness of intellect, there should be the wellness of the self. The wellness is our goal, and that wellness starts with our body. Therefore, the Upanishads always emphasizes on making the body strong. Appayantu mamangyani. That means let our limbs work strong. When our limbs are not strong, we are not able to rise up in the higher tiers of happiness. It is the stepping stone, and therefore absolute emphasis must be given, absolute stress must be given in physical development and games and sports. There is a very oft quoted statement by Swami Vivekananda, who says that you will be nearer to heaven through football than through Srimad Bhagavad Gita or than through Bhagavad Gita. It does not mean that he wants to undermine the greatness of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He says that the pathway to understand and realize the tenets of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is to make oneself strong. If we take the word yoga, you know that the word yoga it's a very popular, this etymological interpretation is very popular, that yoga has come from the verbal root yuj. And this verbal root yuj has threefold connotations. One is yujiri yoge, one is yuja samadho, and the third is yuja samyamane. So the first connotation is yoga means union. Yoga means union. From the perspective of our philosophical understanding, yoga is the union of the apparent man with the real man. The apparent man is dependent, is conditioned by the external surroundings. But the real man is independent of that. The real man has full control over the surroundings. There is no duality. The apparent man himself is the real man. One who is the apparent man is the conditioned one. He is conditioned by nature. He is conditioned by surroundings. He is conditioned by relationships. He is conditioned by his work environment. So we have to throw overboard all these constraints to set ourselves free to attain this state of independence. So yoga also means independence. Yoga means independence. And that independence leads us to the state of happiness, the state of joy, and the state of bliss. That independence teaches us as to how we should tackle, we should combat against the sufferings of life. When we are leading this life, the worldly life, sufferings will come, afflictions will come. But a yogi can efficiently combat against that which the ordinary people cannot. Because yoga is the highest state of existence. Yoga is the highest state of realization. Yoga is the highest state of might. Tapassibhyo adhiko yogi, jnanibhyopi matodhika, karmibhyascha adhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Oh Arjuna, you have to be a yogi. And remember, you see, tapassibhyo adhiko yogi, the yogi is higher than an ascetic. He is superior to an ascetic. Tapassibhyo adhiko yogi. Jnanibhyopi matodhika, he is higher, he is superior to a knowledgeable person, a wise man. He is superior to a worker. He is superior to all because yoga is the highest state of existence. Therefore, you have to become a yogi. What message of yoga has been delivered by the Lord in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? You see, the Arjuna represents an ordinary man like us, who is overpowered by, who is clouded by misery, afflictions, and unhappiness. He is struggling to get free from the constraints and difficulties of life. And Lord gives him the central message of yoga, because yoga is the panacea by which we can get rid of all unhappiness from our life. So we have to know our own real nature. It's not that knowing our real nature, but to be in one's own real nature. In the Patanjala Yoga Sutra, Patanjali records, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of mental modifications. But it's an incomplete definition of yoga unless and until it is supplemented by the next sutra, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. Then the seer abides in its real nature, own real nature. The real nature is within us. We are real. We are Nitya, we are Shuddha, we are Buddha, we are Mukta. We are eternal, we are pure, we are free, and we are aware. So we are Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta. This is our real nature. This is the state of independence. This is the state of higher attainments. And this state can be attained through the performance of yoga, through the control of the mental modifications. And this mind, as our scripture records, that it is also matter and it's intensely connected with the body. When you have the body, when you have any sort of affliction in your body, when your body suffers, your mind also suffers. Suppose you are in a tremendous state of stress, and a tranquilizer is administered. What happens? The tranquilizer is not administered to your mind. It is administered to your body. And when it has been administered, it impacts our mind. That means what happens there? That means it establishes that there is a very close connection between your body and your mind. And mind is matter. Mind is matter. Mind is subtle matter. Swami Vivekananda records that mind is internalized matter and matter is externalized mind. So there is a very close connection. Therefore, we must put our stress and emphasis on our physics first. Let our physics be strong so that it impacts our psyche. So therefore, yoga has been included in the curriculum of the physical education too. In all the curricula of the universities on physical education, all of them have accommodated yoga into its basic scheme. Why? Because yoga means physical education means physical training, and this physical training impacts our mind. It gives us an opportunity to control our mind too. Therefore, it is very relevant to put physical yoga in the curriculum of physical education. It's not interdisciplinary, or it is not cross-disciplinary. Yoga and physical education is an integrated whole. Without this, the other cannot happen. So we come to the first basic definition again. Yoga is the union with our real nature. And on the other hand, we can say from the perspective of physical education that yoga is back to our nature of wellness, is to be established in our pristine nature of wellness. The supreme nature of wellness is Satchidananda. That Ananda state of Ananda is to be achieved. That has to be attained. Anandadhaiva khalu imani bhutani jayante anandena jatani jivanti anandena jatani jivanti. So what happens is that we must get back to our pristine state of wellness. We must get back to the state of our real existence. So primarily they are the same. The goal is the same. The next connotation is yoga is concentration. Yuja samadho. What is yoga? Yoga means concentration. So what is the difference between an ordinary man and a concentrated man and a concentrated man? An ordinary man is less efficient, whereas a concentrated man is highly efficient. The difference between a successful man and an unsuccessful man is the level of concentration. The successful man has an elevated level of concentration, whereas an ordinary man has a low level of concentration. Everyone wants to be successful, and yoga says that there is an equal possibility for all of us to attain that state of success. And the correct measures have been prescribed, and those measures are the measures called the practice of yoga. So yoga is concentration. But how does it become relevant from the perspective of sports and games? When we were little children, we were in our school days, or in our primary school, very primary school days, India had won the Cricket World Cup. 1983, there was a history in the history made by the cricketers of India. I refer to a very significant incident, a significant match which was played at 10 Bridge Wells, where India was batting first, won the toss, they opted to bat, and they started to play the game, and within a very short span of time, Indian batting order totally crumbled and collapsed. It was 5 for 20. In 20 runs, 5 wickets went down. And then came out to the battlefield was the great all-rounder Kapil Dev, who played a magnificent innings. 175 not out, which changed the entire state and fate of the game. But how could he achieve that? It was a Herculean task to be accomplished. Mere practice wouldn't give these output. This achievement was done by dint of concentration. So concentrated was he that he himself admitted, I have heard at certain places, that he himself admitted that that day my misits were also going outside the boundary. The day was of mine. This total concentration, he said that I could see nothing but the ball coming to my bat. Entire concentration was one-pointed. That is also a state of yoga. Yoga does not mean that we have to perform it in a spiritual atmosphere. Yoga does not mean that you have to go to the temple, you have to go to the mosque, you have to go to a yoga institute, you have to go to a yoga platform. No, it's not like that. Yoga can be performed everywhere in the world, everywhere at any place. No spatial and temporal limitation is there for the yoga practitioner. You see, the highest message of yoga was delivered in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna went there to fight the battle. He did not go there to practice yoga. But the highest message of yoga was delivered in the battlefield, because when we are in crisis, when we are in the difficult situations of our life, when we are to face the adversities of our life, yoga helps us to combat against that. The highest message of yoga was delivered in the battlefield, and if our life is considered to be a battlefield, if the playground itself is considered to be a battlefield, yoga becomes relevant there. Think of a striker, think of a center forward moving with the ball towards the goalpost of the opponent. Where is his concentration? There are several fans and followers who are applauding him. He has his fellow players with him, trying to make several remarks, trying to give him some advice. But he could listen nothing, but his concentration is totally one-pointed and fixed on the football, which he would shoot in the goal. So that is the level of concentration. He forgets about everything. He forgets about the entire world. One-pointed concentration. Remember that episode of Mahabharata, when all the Pandava brothers and the Kaurava brothers were called for a test by their guru Dronacharya, and there was a small bird there on the branch of a tree, and they were asked to shoot the eye of the to make the eye of the bird the target, and asked all the Kaurava and the Pandava brothers to accomplish the goal. The goal is to shoot the eye of the bird. But whenever the first Pandava brother or the Kaurava brother came, there was a question of eligibility. The question of eligibility was raised then. It was said that, what can you see? They all said that, the person said, that boy said that I can see the branch, I can see the leaves, I can see the bird, and I can see you. So you are not eligible for that. Likewise, several people came and went without fulfilling the eligibility. At last, Arjuna turned up. And when Arjuna turned up, Arjuna was asked, what can you see? Arjuna said, I can see only the eye of the bird. That is called concentration. You see, all these are now included in the physical education, games and sports, because there is hardly any other system, there is hardly any other way which can involve a person so much that he becomes concentrated. When you go out for a morning walk to sustain your health, it is tiresome. But when you play, it's not tiresome. Your health is sustained, but at the same time, its joy is also evolved. When this joy is coupled with this physical exercise or the physical practices, then it gives a wonderful result within ourselves. It impacts our body, it impacts our mind. So yoga and physical education, yoga and sports, yoga and games, they are very, very closely connected, and they are very, very relevant in today's perspective. The third is that yuja sanyamane, yoga means control. Because if you don't control your mind, if you don't control your body, nothing can happen. Nothing can happen, nothing higher can be attained if your body, senses and mind are not put under control. Once they are put under control, then they can give us wonderful results. Our limbs, our body, our mind, they are like the beasts with us. They are like the horses which drag the vehicle of our life. Without them, we cannot think of our life. Our life becomes meaningless without our body and without our senses. Some of the great yogis, or some of the so-called yogis, what they do is that some of the greatest yogis, what do this? They always tell us to control our senses. When they tell us to control our senses, then what happens? When they ask us to control our senses, what happens? We go on torturing our senses. And what results do you get? The results is entirely opposite. We experience a great fall, because nothing can be accomplished by torturing on our senses. The senses, the mind, the limbs, the bodies, these are the vehicle which will lead us to the ultimate goal. No yoga is possible by torturing on our body and senses. But this body, these senses must be under control. A very beautiful analogy has been given regarding the state of our mind in our scriptures. Markatasya surapanam, madhe vrishika dangshanam, tanmadhe bhuta sancharam, yadva tadva bhavishvati. Our body is like a markata. Markata means the monkey. Sorry, it's not a body. Our mind is like that of a monkey. Don't be complacent that your mind is just like an ordinary monkey. Your mind is not like an ordinary monkey. It is markatasya surapanam madhye vrishikadangshanam. That means it is like an ordinary monkey, whichever is drunk. It's not an ordinary monkey, but it's a drunk monkey. Your mind is like an intoxicated monkey. You see, ordinary monkeys are very, very restless, very, very chaotic. Similarly, the intoxicated monkeys is more chaotic. Madhye vrishikadangshanam. That intoxicated monkey is now stung by a scorpion. And when it is stung by a scorpion, it becomes more restless, jumping from one branch to another in a very absolutely chaotic way. Looking at such an ideal medium, a monkey which is intoxicated and stung by a scorpion becoming extremely restless, a demon enters into the monkey. It becomes totally chaotic. It becomes totally restless. That is the state of our mind. And that must be put under control. And this mind and the senses, they are considered as beasts. Or you can say your pets. They are essential for your life. You cannot do away with them. But they must be put under control. If they are not put under control, suppose you go out for a morning walk with your pet dog. People go out for the monkey. Now it has the status. It is a status symbol nowadays to go out for a morning walk with a dog. Without the dog, your status is lowered. So you come out with a dog. But now I suggest you to go for a spiritual walk, not a morning walk. To go for a spiritual walk with your monkey, pet monkey. But don't tie it up with the chains. If you tie it up with your chains, what will happen? It will drag you. It will try to take you anywhere it likes. It will take you anywhere it likes. Similarly, the dog, you see, whenever the dog is tied with the chain, the dog will drag you here and there, and you will never be under the could control the dog. You will experience several bad experiences while you are under the control of the dog. Now, whenever you come out with the for the work with the dog under your control, your work is very pleasant. Now, when you go out for the spiritual walk with your monkey, you set your monkey free. Who is the monkey? Your mind is the monkey. Your monkey mind is your pet. But don't torture that. If you torture your mind monkey, then what will happen? It will give a vigorous reaction. That reaction is very, very dangerous for us. So that vigorous reaction is to be avoided, and that's why you have to set the monkey free. But you have to keep a constant vigilance on the monkey. You must observe the monkey throughout. Your monkey mind will go everywhere it likes. But at every point it will turn back and it will look at the master. You are the master. You are the self. Therefore, it will always turn back. And it will look, where is the master? If the master is not observant, if the master is not vigilant, the monkey will try to flee. The monkey will try to run away. And when the monkey will try to run away, then what will happen? Your purpose is not served. Therefore, you set the monkey free and you keep a constant vigilance on the monkey, totally be observant and see the monkey. And whenever you see the monkey will turn back. You will see that the master is observant. He will again go to the next place, but he will not run away. He will not flee. Then he goes to the next place. Again, he turns back and looks at the master. He looks that the master is observant, and therefore he again moves to the other point without fleeing, without running away. At last, after 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, or a certain span of time, the monkey will become tired of the external things. Because the external objects give momentary experiences. It may be a bitter fruit, it may be a sweet fruit. Consistent sweetness or bitterness is not there. Therefore, once the bitter fruit is tasted, he has a very bad experience. He doesn't like it. So, he understands that this momentariness, this impermanence of the external objects are not for his well-being. He wants to be stated in its own state of well-being, and he turns back to his master. And this turning back of mind towards his one's own master is called pratyahara in the language of yoga. The monkey will turn back, and monkey being totally tired of the external things will turn back. But initially, if you impose some restrictions on the monkey, monkey will never listen to you, monkey will never obey you. So this is how the mind is to be trained. Mind is never to be tortured. Mind is never to be overpowered. But mind must be trained with care, with love, with affection. So that the mind becomes your pet and not your contestant, not your opponent. Once the mind is controlled, the body will also gradually come under control. The similar analogy is used there in the subjects called physical education, games and sports, that when the body and the limbs come under control, the mind will also gradually be under control. Therefore, you see, whenever we come back after playing, the young students, they can put more attention on their reading and learning procedure. That is there. So what do we have to do? We have to train our mind with care. Train our mind with all serenity. Train our mind with love and affection. This is called control. Control does not mean total nullification, total rejection of anything. Srimad Bhagavad Gita records, Yuktahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta sapnabhavodhasya, Yoga bhavati dukkha. Yoga bhavati dukkha. Yoga is the cessation of all miseries, afflictions, and pangs of life. But how that can be attained? Yuktahara viharasya. Your ahara, your food must be balanced. Balanced diet. Balance does not mean less. Balance does not mean much more. Balance means the optimum level. Balance means the level whichever is required for us. So the food must be balanced. Balanced diet. Diet must be balanced in quality and quantity. Now you see, in the modern perspective, more emphasis is given on nutrition. Food must be nutritious. We evaluate the nutrition value for the sportsman, and now with all the teams we see, the one nutritions are always accompanied. So nutritionists are there. Why? Because they have to maintain the nutrition value of the food of the players, so that they can concentrate. For concentration, you require a balanced diet, both in quality and quantity. So that is also about, now this concept of food is also a concept which is discussed in the field of yoga, especially in the Hatha Yoga texts. We find the references of the foods and diets. And the Lord very clearly says that yukta ahara viharasya, your ahara must be yukta, your ahara must be, your food must be balanced in quality and quantity. And yukta vihara, your recreation must also be balanced. Vihara means indulgence to all sorts of physical and mental enjoyments with control. So all the mental enjoyments, physical enjoyments, they are allowed in yoga. You cannot avoid. If you avoid, you will never become a yogi. If you reject all sorts of physical and mental enjoyments, you will cease to be a yogi. At the same time, if you go on totally being absorbed without non-intermittently in the field of yoga, in enjoyment and in physical and mental enjoyment, then what happens? Then you will also cease to be a yogi. So your recreation must also be balanced. The recreation must be moderate. Your attempt, your endeavor to must also be balanced, must also be moderate. Moderation is the watchword for yoga. Yukta sapna ababodhasya. Sapna and ababodha. Swapna means your sleep and ababodha means your wakefulness. Your wakefulness and your waking state and your sleep state must also be balanced. A person who sleeps too long will never be a yogi. At the same time, a person who sleeps too less will never be a yogi. Because yoga, perfection does not mean an extreme, but maintaining a balance. I started with the concept of equilibrium. When there is an equilibrium, there is a balance. When the equilibrium is broken, there is all sorts of disruptions, interruptions, and difficulties in our life. We should not indulge in any sort of excessive enjoyment. We should not indulge in any sort of extremist way of life. Our yoga, our life must be guided by the principle of balance, guided by the principle of moderation. So if you raise this question, can a yogi eat whatever he likes? Yes, he can eat whatever he likes, provided it is a balanced diet, provided it is nutritious, provided it is moderate in its quantity. Similarly, can he enjoy his life? Can he indulge in physical, mental enjoyments? Yes, he can, but there must be intermittency. There must be intermittency. There must be control. There must be moderation. So these are the ways by which we can understand that this holistic living or holistic health and what is our ultimate goal and this yoga, they are synonymous. They are analogous. They are complementary. Without holistic health, there cannot be yoga, and without yoga, there cannot be any holistic health. But we must always be aware of the self, because the ultimate goal is to make the self delighted. The ultimate goal is to rejoice in one's own self, because this self, that is the source of all happiness. The self is the master of all. And we have to know this self. We have to realize this self. The search for the missing self is the goal of yoga, and the search for the missing self is the goal of holistic health too. I would like to refer to an anecdote here at this point, which can elucidate the concept of the search for the missing self. There was a king called Janaka. You have heard of the king called Janaka, and Janaka was a wise king. So Janaka was fast asleep in his royal bed, and suddenly at midnight there was a knock at his door. And he saw that the attendant has entered the room and said, "Sir, a war has broke, and therefore you must come and you must order your army to march for the war." So immediately he woke up. He immediately woke up and he went to the battlefield and he ordered his chief to march for the war. And there was a terrible war, but unfortunately, Janaka was defeated. He had to concede the defeat. And when Janaka had conceived the defeat, then the opponent king said, "Look, man, you are a king and I will not kill you. I will not sentence you to death, but I will give you a punishment. You have to bound the territory of this kingdom before the sun sets. But after the sun sets, if you are found within the territory, you will be killed." So Janaka started running, and at last, when the sun is about to set, he just bounded the territory. He crossed the territory. But throughout the day, he did not have a morsel of food to eat and a drop of water to drink. He was extremely tired and he was badly looking for food and drinks. He saw suddenly that, that there was a person who was distributing food in form of charity. So he saw when he queued up to get the food, and suddenly he noticed that whenever his turn had come, the food was exhausted. The person said that, "Look, the food is exhausted, but we have some starch left with us." Starch, you understand, when you prepare the rice, bhater pore je matta pore thake seta hocche starch. So say that starch is left with us, so that starch I can give you. You can eat or you can drink. You can eat and drink, or you can drink and eat, like nor soup. So this starch was given to him, Janaka, and Janaka was about to drink the starch. Meanwhile, a kite alighted and struck the bowl. The bowl fell down and he could not drink a little drop of starch. He fell down, totally collapsed, almost unconscious, and started murmuring, Is there anybody who can give me a drop of water to drink, a glass of water to drink? I am so thirsty, I am so tired, I cannot live without a drop of water. Suddenly he heard a feeble voice, "Sir, I am standing beside your bed with a glass of water. Why don't you wake up and have this water to drink?" He woke up and he saw his attendant standing with a glass of water, and it was a nightmare for him. There was no war or anything. It was only a bad dream. It was only a nightmare. But Janaka was a contemplative king. He was unlike ordinary people. He started contemplating that whichever is true, is this state which is called the waking state true, or is that state whichever I experienced the dream is true? Whichever is true, is this true or is that true? He could not differentiate. He could not discriminate between these two states. Just now he was experiencing a very, very pathetic state of his life, and now he is in the royal beds. He was thinking whether this is a dream state or that is a dream state. So all the royal work was stalled because the king was deluded. The king was totally deluded, and he was confused. There was a great confusion. He went to the royal court to give some official decisions. But when the ministers came to him with the file, he said, whichever is true, is that true or is this true? So this message spread like a fire across the capital. Everyone started discussing that the king has gone mad. This king has become confused. So everyone started discussing, and fortunately the guru, fortunately the teacher of Janaka, whose name was Ashtavakra, he was there in the capital. He came across the news and he immediately ran to the royal court to King Janaka and said, "O king, why are you confused?" The king said, "Is that true or is this true? Is that true or is this true? I am confused to know that whether that state is a dream state or is this a dream state." Ashtavakra said, "Oh great king, now whenever you are in your royal court, do you have the slightest feel, the slightest experience of that, whatever you had in the dream?" He said, "No, sir." "And whenever you were there in the dream state, did you have the slightest experience of this royal luxury?" He said, "No, sir." "So, oh Janaka, neither that is true nor this is true. You yourself is the only truth. The self residing within. This is the search for the missing state. It is the search for the missing self, which is called Turiya in the philosophical perspective, in the language of the philosophy. That it is the Turiya state, the transcendental state, when you understand whichever is our real state. So your waking state is not true, your dream state is not true, and your state of dreamless sleep is not true. If we say this, people will argue why it's not. We experience this state. Yes, these all are true. Indian wisdom says that all these states are true, but these states are relatively true and not absolutely true. The waking state is true so long you are not asleep. When you are asleep, your sleep state will be true. And because you know while you are sleeping, there was a glass of water kept at your bedside. But when you are thirsty in the dream, the glass of water kept at your bedside is unable to quench the thirst of your dream. You have your glass of water at your bedside. You become very thirsty in your dream. But the glass of water kept at your bedside will be unable to quench the thirst of your dream. Because when you are experiencing the dream, the waking state is an unreal state. Unreal state with reference to the dream state. But when you are waking, that with reference to the waking state, that dream state is unreal. So the waking state is true, the dream state is true, and the state of dreamless sleep is also true. When you experience a sleep, profound experience is that the state of dreamless sleep. When you are in the state of dreamless sleep, neither to you is the waking state true, nor to you is the dream state true. You experience a profound bliss, you experience an extreme joy. When you wake up, you say, "I have slept well." How do you know that you have slept well? Because there is the experience of that self within, which is the truth. So the ultimate goal of yoga is to know one's own real nature, which is the self. And the ultimate goal of holistic health, which is called swastha, is to be established in the state of wellness. Now this wellness is equal to our own real nature. And this wellness is to be experienced in every walk of our life. Swami Vivekananda says that we are divinity incarnate. We have immense potentiality and possibility within us because we are of the nature of the Supreme Self. The goal is to manifest the divinity within. That is why he stated that My ideals can be put into a few words, that is to teach unto mankind their divinity and how to make it manifest in every movement of life. The stillness, the wellness, the divinity, the perfection which is inside, which is within us, should be manifested in a very uniform way across in every object of, in every work of our life. Wellness must be within and wellness must be outside. Wellness must be within the self, wellness must be within, we must be reflected in all the activities of our life. That is the goal of yoga and that is the goal of holistic health. Thank you for the patient hearing.
Thank you, sir. The platform is open for all the participants. Our eminent speaker, Dr. Rajeshwar Mukherjee, is here. So if you have any doubt or any question in your mind, you may ask. Please.
Good morning, sir. I have one question.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
A very, very wonderful session, sir. I am Ajay Kumar, student of IGI, Indira Gandhi Institute of Physical Education. Sir, I have question: how to stay motivated with yoga practice and how to overcome the fear with yoga practice?
How to
Stay motivated with yoga practice? How to stay motivated with yoga practice?
I can't get the last words. Can somebody tell me?
Yogic practice, sir.
Dr. Bhaumik, can you tell me what is the last? Yes, tell me. Now
Yes, sir. Again, I'm saying again, how to stay motivated with yogic practice and how to overcome fear with yogic practice.
You see, the prescription is very simple and has been given in our scriptures. Patanjali records Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Tan Nirodha, that this motivation will come by constant practice and a sense of dispassion, the sense of non-attachment. Non-attachment does not mean you just do away with everything. Non-attachment means withdrawing yourselves from everything and concentrating on a single object. So what is the way? The way is Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam, by constant practice. One way is very popular, that is constant practice. Had there been other easier ways, other ideal ways, the Lord in Bhagavad Gita has would have been already expressed. He also said that Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. Only by abhyasa and vairagya. Vairagya, don't say vairagya means you have to sacrifice, renounce your worldly life, you have to renounce your wealth, you have to renounce your service, you have to renounce your family, and you have to retire to the forest. This is not vairagya. Vairagya means when you are doing something, you be concentrated in that in such a way that you are totally isolated from all other objects.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Or any other question from other participants? You all are welcome to ask the question or to clear your doubts. Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, Sujit,
Yes,
go
please,
ahead.
sir, please.
Please ask your question. If you want, you
According
can.
to Patanjali,
Patanjali.
according to Patanjali, Yoga Shastra, according to Yoga Shastra Patanjali, the definition of yoga, what do you mean by yoga? Please clear it.
I have been discussing all about yoga in my lecture. Yoga is chitta vritti nirodha tadadrashtu swarupe avasthanam. Yoga is the control of the thought waves or the cessation of our thought waves in such a way that we abide in our own real nature. We are always connected with ourselves. We are always connected to our swa. Swa means the self. That is called swastha. So the ideal definition of Shastra comes from Patanjali's definition of yoga.
Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
Any other question from other participants? Yes, Utpal Dasji, do you have any question? I think there is no question anymore. So, sir, yes, it was really wonderful, and it was so nice to listen you, sir. Always, I always follow your all the lectures, especially in the seminar, webinars, and
Sir,
YouTube too.
Sir, I would like to ask a question to Mr. Rajeshri sir.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, please.
Sir, that question is that we know that the founder of yoga in Bhagavad Gita it is said Lord Krishna, and founder of yoga on the other traditional text said that founder of yoga is Hiranyagarbha, somewhere written is Lord Brahma. Could you explain, sir, the actuality of founder of yoga in this regard, sir? I'd like to know from you. In fact, the Hiranyagarbha, sir, concept of Hiranyagarbha too.
Hiranyagarbha is a very vast concept to discuss here right now. But as regards the champion of yoga, as regards the founder of the system of yoga, the Lord says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita that he is the founder of yoga. As per Indian wisdom, as per Indian knowledge system, ekam shat vipra bahuda vadanti. The one is the reality. And people call it by diverse names. So the person who is Shiva, you call him by the name Shiva. Someone else will call it by the name Hiranyagarbha, and someone else will call it by the name Krishna. Some will say he is the Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everywhere. So the same Vasudeva will appear to you as Shiva if you consider him as the founder of yoga. And if you consider him Hiranyagarbha as the founder of yoga, the same Vasudeva will appear before you as the Hiranyagarbha.
I think it is clear to Mr. Sanjay Sarkar. It was wonderful,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you so much.
Any other question? I want to I'll talk to all the participants that if you want, you may ask the question in Bangla too. अगर যদি আপনারা কেউ বাংলাতে কোশ্চেন করতে চান স্যারকে কোশ্চেন করতে পারেন
बांग्ला इंग्रेजी हिंदी
यस हिंदी अगर किसी को हिंदी में पूछना है तो प्लीज आप पूछिए So I think there is no any more questions, sir. So
आत्मज्ञान हो जाने के बाद और कोई प्रश्न रहता नहीं है.
So sir, I am sure that the participants are extremely benefited listening to your apprehension towards attaining mental and physical health. And thank you so much, sir, for being with us in this platform today. We are really fortunate to have you today. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity.
Hello, sir. Please send us the feedback link.
Right.
Dr. Bhaumik will do that.
Yes, sir.
Bhaumik will definitely send you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So now I'm proceed to our next speaker. Our next eminent speaker is Professor Tarak Nath Pramanik. And I love to introduce to Professor Tarak Nath Pramanik. He is working as a professor in IGIPESS, University of Delhi. He is a renowned person in the field of physical education and yoga and has completed his BPE, MPE and PhD from LNIP Gwalior. He did MA in Yoga from Uttarakhand and has also done Diploma in Yoga Education from Kavila Dhaman, Lonavala, Maharashtra. He was invited as one of the key speakers and academic activities on yoga in China Institution of Sports Science. He has presented and published various research papers in international and national conferences on his credit, and has also published various books in the field of physical education and yoga. He has worked as an assistant secretary in Indian Yoga Federation and secretary in State Sports Association, Delhi. He has been a member of jury of yoga at international, national, state, and university level. He has worked in various membership of learned bodies such as University of Delhi, LNIP Gwalior, Central Council of Research, Yoga and Naturopathy, New Delhi, and CBSC. Sir, we are very happy to have you, sir. So now the platform is yours, sir. Please enlighten us. His topic is Yoga for Holistic Health. Sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Formally, I would like to say that good morning to all. It is a privilege that I am the part of this webinar on Yoga for Holistic Health. I'm thanks to Chief Patron, Professor Ganga Prasad Prasin, who is a Honorable Vice Chancellor of Tripura University. Thanks to Patron, Professor Shyamlal Das, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Commerce, Tripura University. I'm also he is my brother, Professor Prasanta Kumar Das, Head Department of Physical Education, Tripura University, Chairman of this webinar. Organizing Secretary, Dr. Sanjeev Kumar Bhumik, Assistant Professor, and Joint Secretaries, my dearest and nearest, Dr. Sudeep Das, Associate Professor, and my friend, Dr. Krishna Dhar, Assistant Professor. I'm so happy to listen to lectures, and I learned more from them also. And I'm trying my best to speak some of the things. Let understand how yoga for holistic health. Nowadays, everybody is speaking and everybody is spoken that yoga, and things are going on. And let understand how health is really work for us. So already our Professor Rajiv Chaudhary sir spoken that about health. Health is a common theme in most cultures. All communities have their concept of health as a part of their culture. So it is a definition of health in all communities is the absence of disease. When I talk of absence of disease, some of the slokas is there. Some dosha sama agnishya, samadhatu malakriya, prashanta atmendriya man swasth ityami dhyate. Perfect health as balanced function of all systems of the body, where all sensory and motor organs are active, mind and soul are happy. When in such a circumstance, a person can be called a perfectly healthy being. When I talk of perfectly healthy being, then I understand of dimension of holistic health. There are the 5 stages, physical, mental, social, emotional, and spiritual. Try to understand. When I say the state of health having again a perfection, positive health and a normal health. When I say the illness of what? The state of well-being. That's a physical, mental, social, spiritual. We have to try to understand this. When I say the positive health, hello? When I say the positive health, a person who is healthy physically, mentally, and socially, and spiritually is said to be in a state of positive health. Here's the highest standard of health. The 3 things are very important. That is, one is biological, your internal organs, and how the biological organs are functioning. And when the organs are functioning properly and your mental level is perfectly perfect, then we say that positive health is there. So next is how normal health. Now there are the health parameters. We have to see the parameters of your blood pressure, pulse, respiration, internal bleeding, glucose level, oxygen supply, blood balance. That means every time we have to think of our body and body internal parameters. So these parameters are normal health. When we say that this parameter are, when you see the normal measurement of these parameters, then we say that I have a normal health. Now, the illness part of your health, that is the physical health, it implies perfect functioning of the body, energetic, has good posture, weighs normal of age and height, has all body organs functioning normal, has bright eyes, has good texture and shining hair, gets sound sleep, has a good appetite, has a clean breath. A person is specifically physically healthy if he or she looks alert and responsive. So this is about the physical health. If your body is perfect and the body is functioning in your body. Another is the mental health. Mental health is not mere absence of mental illness. Is a mentally healthy person is one who is free from eternal conflicts, control on emotions, sensitive to the needs of others, confidence in one's own abilities. A person is mentally healthy if he or she is relaxed and more from any worries. I understand of social well-being. It implies harmony and integrations within the individual, between each individual and other members of the society, and between individuals and the world in which they live. Has a pleasant manners, fulfills responsibilities toward others, help others, get along well with the people around. A person is socially healthy if he or she can move in the society confidently with others. It is spiritual. See, a person is said to be spiritually healthy when he possesses sound mind in a sound body. Sometimes transcends physiological and psychology. Another is this emotional. A person is said to be emotionally healthy when he does not lose the temper or does not develop tension and should have self-control. Now see, again, the Panchakosha is there. See, these are the physical aspect. These are the physical, mental, and social aspect. When you see your Panchakosha, again, various aspect, Ayurveda says, see, yoga is yoga asana. Patanjali was explained very nicely, and two speakers already spoken that yoga is not for the others. Yoga is for human body. It's for cells. It's for tissues. It's for nerve. Asana is for cell tissues, for nerves, for organs, for body. So there is again a 5 koshas is there. There's a Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manamaya kosha, Vikanmaya kosha, and Anandamaya kosha. Try to understand of Annamaya kosha. Again,
Panchakosha.
Annamaya kosha is again involved with the DNA, cells, tissues, nerve, organs, and body systems. Pranamaya kosha is again a nadis and chakras. Pran ayam, biomagnetic, your biological systems, you how to breathe, inhale, and exhale. Another is a Manamaya kosha, emotions and feelings. See, when you, before going, I always say that it's very difficult to explore the definition of Atha Yoga, Anushasanam, and Yogasya Chittavritti Nirodha. So these are the things are there in my body. Emotions, feelings, likes, dislikes, fears, and poise. So this is the Manamaya kosha. These are the koshas. And these koshas are disturbing. And you have to come up on the daily systems. Vijnanamaya koshas, inner consciousness, inner voice, belief systems, intellectuals. And last is Anandamaya kosha. There's a being with the self and nature. The koshas and their attributes, they have their attributes. They have a food body, pranic body, mental body, initiative body, and bliss body. When these panch koshas is again attributes is the psychological dimensions. There's a consciousness mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind to superconscious mind. See the higher level of how you have to go to the bliss body. Again, a physiological state, Anandamaya kosha and Pranamaya kosha is body and prana. Is wakeful awareness is required. So when you are doing the asanas and pranayam, you have to be aware. You have to aware the breathing also. So mental and Vijnanamaya koshas, dreaming awareness. You have to dream it. And lastly is the meditative awareness, deep awareness. So when you aware, when you experience this awareness in a physical, this awareness of your internal functions, your digestive, your respiratory, your excretory systems, awareness of your mental, emotional process, your causal dimension, your transition awareness. These are the attributes of your koshas. So again is an element of Panch Mahabhutas. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So what do you have again? Again a three tattva. There's a Vat, Piti, Kapha. So these are the doshas. How you have to come up to remove these doshas? So doshas in the bodies are comparable to universe. So your health should be equivalent of doshas. Your disease is imbalance of doshas. So man is a part of the universe. Harmony with environmental is health. So these are the three elements. These are the three bhutas. Panch bhutas is again affect to your body. So to reach the real sense of soul or pure consciousness, one has to unveil this seat so that Atma can illuminate itself without any covering. Again, it's a principle of healthy living. Already Dr. Rajeshwari sir spoken that healthy eating, physical activity, mental stimulation, achar, vichar, ahar, vihar. So right healthy regular activities with the right thoughts and attitudes. And healthy nourishing diet, proper recreations. So body is composed of the five bhutas. These senses are called the horses. Their sense objects to the roads. The wise knows he is the enjoyer when he is united with the body and senses of the mind. See, you have to control of the kleshas. Now, another slide. Kleshas. So these are the things that are there inside your body. This kleshas is an effective which causes pain. We have a avidya, smita, raga, dvesh, abhinivesh. Every human body is there. Lack of awareness, avidya. Avidya leads towards the mithya jnana. Non-atma are mystery considered. Ashmita. Ashmita is the I-ness which leads towards the wrong identification. I know everything. I have a sit in a higher chair. Raga, attachment. Pull, mind is attracted towards the object. It develops a desire to attain the object which gives pleasure. Dvesh, Agnivesh. Dvesh is a repulsion. It is the opposite of raga. So it is towards painful objects. Sometimes it accompanies raga as a overindulgence may lead to repulsions. And the last is to will to live, fear to death. हम मरना नहीं चाहते हैं. And climbing of life of Agnivesh is a universal truth. If I took the birth, I'll be dead. Now I'm coming yoga. So these are the things are there inside your body. If I talk of yoga, it's a vast philosophy, It's a darshan. And Patanjali was explained very nicely that Yatha Yoga Anushasana. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's very difficult. If I said that Anushasanam is discipline. When I work on that, then I'll experience. It's not meaning of discipline. Okay, I'm get up at 4 o'clock or get up at 6 o'clock and get up at 9 o'clock. No, it's experience of to perform the asanas. It is experience of the yama niyama. It is experience of the pranayama. So then you have to ownness of yourself. Then you have to unity of your mind and body. Then second line he was spoken very nicely that yoga is chitta. Chitta is the mind. Thoughts. So many kleshas is there. When we have a kleshas, we have a panchakoshas. So then we have a dukh par monishya angme jayate. I personally I have a dukh. So yoga says your vritti, you have to control your thoughts. How? You have to control your thoughts through mind. First you have to clear your mind. When you understand your mind, when you understand your thoughts, then says the yoga karmashya kausala. Then you have performed skill. Then you have performed asana. Then you perform a pranayama. Patanjali again explain a strong yoga. 8 अंगों का अनुष्ठान. That's a yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. It's very difficult to perform yam niyam, but okay. Now I am because concentrating of asana pranayam. I'll discuss of asana pranayam. Already sir was spoken about the philosophy of that. I just try to explain you how the physiology, anatomy is working when you perform the asanas pranayam. How you have to purify your internal dukkha, internal vyadhi, internal kasta. So I'll talk of asanas and pranayama. Patanjali was explained that 8 ang, and this 8 ang is again effective. Patanjali understand. Again he explained a 3 system of yoga, the Tap Swadhyaya Ishwar Paridhar. You have to perform it. You have to dedicate yourself. You have to determine yourself. You have to devote yourself. So now I'll talk of science of yoga. The science of yoga is the scientific basis of modern yoga as exercised in human science such as anatomy and physiology and psychology. Yoga systematically helps us to maintain bone strength, joint mobility, and joint stability. When I talk of Panchabhuta, Panchakosha, when I talk of Mahabhutas, Kapha, Pitta, Vayu, that means these all internal organs are involved. Study of the body and its parts that are visible without the aid of microscopy. Whom I am giving the training? Brain, lungs, spleen, bone marrow, stomach, veins, pancreas. So these all internal anatomy structures I have given the training through yoga asanas, through pranayama, through meditation. The microscopic anatomy, again, cells, tissues, organs. So I am penetrating to the cells when I am performing a bhujangasana, salabhasana, effect to the tissues, organs, your system, your whole body part. See the systematic. Now developmental anatomy. Now from till birth to death, I have to concentrate my spine. If you see the autogeny, after 10 days, the spine is growth inside the mother's womb. Until death, my spine should be erect. And all asana are based on spine. All pranayam is based on spine. So total development of the individuals are in spine. Total development. You have to concentrate the spine. You have to understand the spine and muscles and tissues. Now, how the comparative anatomy is connected with it? All internal organs is connected with the spine. So comparison of structures among the vertebral classes, all internal, see the lungs, liver, spleen, glands, your kidney, your bone marrow is again interconnected with the spine. That means it's affected. It's again, you have to perform asanas and pranayam, erect of your spine or squeeze your forward bending of your spine, backward bending of your spine, sideward bending and standing. So when I say the Sthira Sukhamasana, it's very difficult to say the Sthira Sukhamasana. Definition is this. But when I perform asanas, it's painful because I have to do regular practice of the asana. Then perform it. Then we feel the sukha. Then we feel the sthira. So there are types of asanas: relaxative, meditative, and cultural asanas. So I'll just give a simple asanas. Perform a Surya Namaskar. Perform a simple asanas. You will be perfect of your health. This is about a Setu Bandha asanas. See, when you're performing the Setu Bandha asanas, your body should be erect. Your body is lie down on the floor. Slowly raise up upper part.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Sir, slide is not moving, sir. Yes, sir.
Slide is not moving. Up.
Now it's okay, sir. Setu Bandha asana is.
Now slide is okay.
This is a slide of Setu Bandha asana.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, if you see the joints of all your body, now shoulder joint, your spine, your again leg joints, your ankle. So if you see again the spine, so with spine, your rectus, abdomen muscles, again gluteus maximus, hamstring, quadriceps. These are the areas are again affected, and you're getting more oxygen of these areas because these areas are blocked. When you perform this Setu Bandha asanas, this area will be, you feel pain. So you have to be stretched properly and get the benefit from these asanas. Now again is a Pavan Mukta asana. Is the name of Pavan Mukta asana. It removes your gastric. Again, a Kapha Pitta Vata. If I say here is again release your pith and concentrate of your pith. So performing of Pavan Mukta asana, the neck, shoulder and back is extending, stretching and relaxing. It also an excellent stretch to help alleviate pain from sciatica. So Pavan Mukta asana is also helping you and getting more oxygen inside your body. And again, the spine is stretch and relax and give you more oxygen up to the coccyx region of your body. Next is supine line, again is a Savasana. Savasana is again, the name is Savasana, means is a relaxation. When you relax your body, you have to bring the oxygen up to the toe. Because every maximum time we are sitting and standing posture, and when we are sitting and standing posture, the oxygen level not goes up to the lower level of the limbs. So that's why we have a pain. A lot of people having arthritis. A lot of people having indigestion problems. Because many times, even if you see the 8 hours we are sitting in the office and my body is tilt forward, my diaphragm is not properly upward and downward. So when you relax in Savasana, you get more oxygen and you have to concentrate of your lower abdomen and upper abdomen of the body and get the more benefits on that. Next is the prone line posture. That's a Bhujangasana, Salavasana and Makrasana. These three asanas again based on supine line, prone line, and based on spine. And again penetrating your upper abdomen, your chest, your ribs. Now, if you see again a shoulder joint, your neck muscles, your spine, your ribs, your recti muscles, your hamstring, your quadricep muscles, gluteus muscles, triceps brachis, these are the areas are concentrating. And again, if you have a pain inside your body, the pain is relaxed. See the in Salvasana, sternocutaneous muscles, extraoblique muscles, rectus abdominis, quadriceps. These are areas, these are the muscles are again concentrating and getting more benefits and getting more oxygen in this area. And when you perform this type of asanas, simple asanas, and a lot of diseases are to be cured. Back pain, digestion problems, especially people are having nowadays, even in Corona, the Bhujangasana, Salvasana are performed. Doctors are now recognized that these are the asanas that are very nice. Makrasana. If you perform in a Makrasana, you'll get more benefits. Those who are facing a lot of indigestion problems, those who are facing asthma, perform Bhujangasana, Salvasana, and Makrasana. These are the asanas cure a lot of disease. Another is sitting posture. See, Vakrasana. Slowly twist your spine, your shoulder, your neck muscles, your neck spine, your head, up to the coccyx region. You'll see your thigh muscles, especially footballers. I have seen the sportsmen of the footballer, basketballer, volleyballer. They couldn't perform these asanas perfectly because their body, upper body and lower body is stiff. If they perform this Vakrasana and Sasasanas, they will get more benefit of a lower division of the muscles and upper division of the muscles. Those who are facing of spondylitis, again back problems, those who are facing of arthritis, for this asanas are very beneficial and easier. Go for easy, and these are the asanas are very easy, and it again keeping the hormones in control, relieve the stress, bringing fresh blood supply to the crown of the head and your digestive systems. So again, it's a relaxable asanas if you perform perfectively, and then it stretch your whole organs, internal, external muscles and bones. Next is Ardha Ustrasana. Again, upper part of the Ustrasana means it's a look like a oot, camel. Now this is Ardha Ustrasana. Those who are not performing perfect Utrasanas, they will perform the Ardha Ustrasana. Again, Ardha Ustrasanas is concentrating your psoas major, rectus, femoris, pistis, literis, and hamstring.
Sir,
So
again, I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. Slide is not moving, sir. Okay, fine, sir.
If I
Yes, fine, sir.
now it's okay.
Yes, okay, sir.
So these are the Ardha Ustrasanas. Again, those who are having back problem, those who are having fatty cells in the abdomen region, or perform this Ardha Ustrasana. Ardha Ustrasana again helps to the asthmatic patient. Again, back problem, those who are having a neck problem, those who are having a eyes and nostril problems, means sinus problem, the Ardha Ustrasana is helping and giving benefits to them. Next is Bhadrasana. Bhadrasana is abductor knowledges. Now, I have seen most of the students of our physical education, those who are player of football and basketball and kho players, even the students couldn't sit in a floor. You have to perform a Bhadrasana. The coccyx region of your spine should be penetrate and stronger when you perform the Bhadrasana. And you have to bring the oxygen up to the coccyx region. Especially the student of physical education, they have a lot of pain in the back. So if they perform this Bhadrasana, they will get more benefit. Next is standing asanas. That is the Vrikshasana. If you perform slowly Vrikshasana, you will see your body should be perfect and your kinesthetic sense should be improved. And the other is Ardha Chakrasana. Again, is stretching of your back, stretching of your upward part of the body, and whole muscles, spine, and get all internal organs should be benefited. Here are the Padhastasana, again a forward bending, Tadasana, Trikonasana. These are the asanas are giving more benefits to your body and internal organs, and it's cured to your diseases. So asanas are again brings harmony to your life, calm your nerve systems, improves your reactions, increase concentrations, helps you to sleep well, relieves your depressions, makes you happier, helps you to relax and stretch and protect your spine, keep your muscles strong, increase your blood flow, prevents joint problems, improve your postures, improves your metabolisms, increase immunity and flexible, and improves your heart rate, makes you stress free. So many things are you are getting benefits through asanas. Next is pranayama. How pranayama is work and how pranayama is to remove the kleshas. The rhythm of the body, the melody of the mind, and the harmony of the soul create the symphony of life. See, pranayam is the not mean of performing a Alom Vilom or Surya Veda. Your melody, you have to perform your rhythm of the breathing, your rhythm of the body should be purified and perfect. So I am keeping in this breathing rate. Normal breathing rate is 15 to 18 breaths per minute. Inhalations and 2 seconds to exhalation 2 seconds. If how you have to breathe. People are performing a pranayama. I have seen, especially they perform a pranayama in inhale with the left and exhale with the right, and inhale with the right and exhale with the left. But they don't know how much breathing they have taken, how much pranayam they have taken. They were saying that, okay, sir, I have done a pranayam for 5 minutes, I have done pranayam for 10 minutes, but I don't know how much I have done. And I have regularly done pranayam 3 to 4 years, but I am not getting benefits. No, you have to know how much pranayama, how much Alom Vilom you have to perform. So less number of respirations per minute. Pigeon having a less life, they have taken a 34, sparrow 30, dog 28, cat 24, elephant 22, human being 15. The average age is 70 to 80, and tortoise is a 5. Their life is 400 years. If you take a less pranayama, a less breathing, then your life should be lifespan increases. So I have given this slide because of people are not understanding of the pranayama. They understand that pranayama means concentrate of my lower abdomen or navel region. No, when you inhale and exhale, automatically your respiratory system, your diaphragm expand and contract and relax automatically. Do not concentrate on your diaphragm and lungs. Sir, मेरा chest बढ़ रहा है कि नहीं बढ़ रहा है?